Good evening, everybody. It is Friday, and it was an extremely bullish day on Wall Street. We had another consecutive follow-through day. So on tonight's stream, I just wanted to briefly go over some true market leaders that I am watching, because obviously we did have the follow-through day in the market yesterday, as well as another one today. The volume indicators in the market may be a little skewed today because of the triple witching event that happened in the derivatives market, but we'll keep an eye on that tonight. But we are going to be talking about Nvidia, Fortinet, Apple, and a company called Broadcom with the ticker symbol AVGO. Laura M is here. Good to see you, Laura M. Exploration is here. Happy Friday. Chris Beeman, the one and only. Hey, Chris. Paranormal Witness Girl is here. Sally, Vinny Castellano, the one and only. Happy Friday to you. Optimus Prime says hello. The one and only ABX Girl is here. Samantha R. Lady O, our moderator from New Jersey. It's good to see everybody. Ed is here, says what's up, y'all. I know it's a late stream tonight, so I do apologize, but I hope everybody's having a good one. We are in South Beach tonight. Late stream, but it is a beautiful night. It's about 77 degrees Fahrenheit here in Miami. Tyree is here, says hey Tom, good to see you, Tyree. The one and only Ruby Falcone. Hey Ruby, good to see you. So this is Lincoln Road, everybody. I'm not sure what this thing is. Let's check it out. Hey, Two Wheel Pines says happy you got on tonight. Good to see you, Two Wheel Pines. Yeah, it's going to be a shorter stream than usual. It's probably only going to be about an hour. Annie F says looks beautiful. Hey Tom, good to see you, Annie F. Welcome. Sally is here. Says it's really good to have you live, Tom. It's good to have you here. I see Jay says hi, and Sin Jib says how are you? Good to see you, Sin Jib. Jonathan Francis. What's up, Jonathan Francis? Good to see you, my friend. Well, it is Friday. It was a crazy week. Just talk about a crazy week on Wall Street. Obviously, the one and only, the day was Wednesday. We heard from the Federal Reserve. We got our 25 basis point rate hike, but also we did hear from the Bank of Japan today. So the Bank of Japan maintained their short-term interest rate target at negative 0.1%. As hilarious as that sounds, yes, Japan does have negative interest rates, but I believe they also gave a little bit of context on their 10-year bond, which is yielding about 0%. So we did get some clarity on that. It seems like a lot of the economists and analysts on Wall Street were bang on accurate with the Bank of Japan's monetary policy decisions. Hey, Cosmo Scary is here. What's up, Cosmo? It's good to see you. Sherry is here. What's up, Sherry? Says, hey, Tom, beautiful night. Good to see you, Sherry. Wow, Cosmo says, Tom, it was 70 degrees today in New York City. People were sunbathing in the park. No way, man. That's awesome. Well, Cosmo, you know what always happens? It's like you tend to have, especially in March, the volatility in the weather in March is insane. You have like a 70-degree day, you have a 50-degree day, then it snows. Really volatile weather in March. But it's good to see that things are warming up. Hey, it's our pal Razzle Dazzle is here. Razzle Dazzle 786 is beautiful night in Miami. Razzle Dazzle, are you back in New York now? I know you told everybody you're going to be in New York, so maybe you've already arrived. If so, welcome to New York. RJ says, hola, Tom from Colorado. Good to see you, RJ. I am doing very well. Thank you for asking. Hey, Otto's here. Says, hi, Tom. Good to see you. So we are going to check out this art gallery here. I think one of the streams we actually went in here, but unfortunately it is closed. But you know what? I really like this Richie Rich statue here. But for this miniature statue, it's $750. You guys think that's worth it? What do you think? Minraj is here, says, what's up, Tom? Hey, Minraj. Dutchman says, hello, Tom. You're going to run into AK. He's streaming now. You know what's crazy? I was just about to stream in downtown Miami. But then I'm like, you know what? Tonight I'm going to stream from South Beach. And then AK is in Brickell. So if I was streaming in Brickell, we probably would have ran into each other. Hey, Carla's here. Hola, Carla. Good to see you. James is here from the Carolinas. What is up, James? Always good to see you, my friend. I mean, what do you guys think? Would you guys pay $3,800? Check this one out, everybody. So this statue here I'm not even sure if I should call them a statue. Should I? This one's $3,800. I mean, it looks beautiful, but I don't know about the $3,800 price tag. I think if I were gonna buy one, I'd probably get this one, but I probably would never spend $750 on a little miniature thing like this. But it does look beautiful. Hey, Cool Weather Farmers here says hi. Marty Lewis, what's up, Marty Lewis? Good to see you. You know, I should try to show you the other ones. Let's see if it'll focus. Terry Docker is here. Good to see you, Terry. Welcome. Hope everybody is having a good day so far. Maylace is colorful, yeah, but not worth the $750. Agreed. So another interesting thing in the market, if we remember from 2 weeks ago, I wrote in the Behind the Street newsletter that crude oil would probably take a little bit of a breather here and start to come down in price. So we saw crude fall about 28%, but we are catching a little bit of a bid here at the 50-day moving average. And we're starting to go back up. So this could be a decent buying opportunity for a lot of the energy stocks as well as the major investment banks. So we are gonna talk about briefly some of the banks like Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. There could be a buying opportunity, mainly because I think there could be another leg higher in crude now that we've corrected about 28%. But more than that, interest rates are going up. So banks tend to make more money when rates go up. Hey, John Rambo is here. Hey, John, good to see you. Ed Dunkel says the vast majority of art declines in price, says Ed Dunkel. Roy S is here, says, hey, Tom, good to see you. So, you know, I was reading an article that some of the rare art out there was actually outperforming the S&P 500. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Hey, Seymour is here. What's up, Seymour? Mike C, happy Friday, my friend. Welcome. So one of the things I like about Lincoln Road is they have all of these outdoor dining spaces here. Diego says iPhone SE Apple. Yeah, they just came out with the new iPhone SE. They announced it at Apple's release day. Michelle Henry says, hey, Tom and everybody. Good to see you. Welcome, Ed Dunkel. Hope everybody is good. Jane M. Welcome, Jane. Hey, Canyon Overlook says, I have wasted enough money in my life. Funny. You know, I've been seeing a lot of people riding around on rollerblades now. I think it's coming back. I think it's a trend that's going to come back. What do you guys think? But check out this full moon over Miami here. Such a beautiful night. The full moon probably doesn't come out well on the camera, but it's almost like the sun is shining. It's seriously almost like the sun is shining. Hey, Triple G says, Tom, you just won the AK face-off. Hey, what's up, Triple G? Yeah, so AK is in, I think it's actually a better area where he's in. I really do enjoy Brickell, which is, I guess, sort of like, they call it the financial district, but there's also a lot of tech startups that are going into Brickell as well. And that is where my office is too. Hey, Razzle Dazzle 786 says, I will be in New York in May. I decided to stay with my family for Ramadan, holy month for Muslims. Nice, Razzle Dazzle. And you know what? I think you're making the right decision anyway, Razzle Dazzle, because, you know, sometimes in April, I mean, I don't want to say it, but sometimes it could snow in April in New York. And I think if you come in May, I think you'll just be getting the most beautiful weather, so. Hey, Mark Davis is here. What's up, Mark? Mark Davis is joining us from the one and only Toronto, Canada. Good to see you. Shannon says, thank you, Tom, for the Friday evening walk. No problem. Yeah, I wasn't going to stream tonight. I had a very long day at work. But I was like, you know what? We'll just do a quick recap on the stream. I wanted to point out a couple things. Obviously, we did have that follow-through day. And if anybody's been reading the Behind the Street newsletters, That is really the main thing that I like to focus on, especially when the market is in a correction. One of the very, very key things to focus on is, let's see if we can get a follow-through day in the market. And we did get one yesterday and today. And I think that the market is responding quite positively to the Federal Reserve's decision to raise interest rates. So a lot of people on the street were thinking that, you know, if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, obviously this is going to put a lot of pressure on tech stocks, with a lot of their earnings being priced into the future. But, you know, we've been seeing this massive sell-off over the last year, and I think a lot of that activity is priced in. So hopefully this bull trend will continue, but I think we're going to stay sideways for a little bit. But we're going to cover it in this week's issue of Behind the Street newsletter. So if you want to sign up to read that, it is the first link in the description. Hey, Dallas is here. Good to see you, Dallas. Says, hey, Tom, good evening, my friend. Good to see you, Dallas. Mike C says, AK got recognized by a dude on the street in Miami. That was cool. Awesome. Yeah, Mike, the location where he's in, I think, is my favorite location in Miami. So we are a little bit across the water. I'm not sure how many miles away it would be from Brickell, from South Beach. What would you guys say? 8 miles, I think? Probably 8 miles. Hemp Lord says, good stream yesterday when talking about robots. Yeah, that is a major trend, and I think a lot of politicians are behind the curve because there's a lot of technologies that are coming out that will cause massive disruption. And I think the biggest one is probably autonomous vehicles. Hey, Atomic Skittles says, good evening, Tom. I will be in New York all next week. Hey, so will I. Well, not all next week. I will be in New York the latter part of the week. But then I'm actually going to Philadelphia, which I'm looking forward to. Haven't been to Philly, and I'm going to take the Amtrak right out of the Moynihan train station. So we will get a look at the brand new Moynihan train station lounge. That should be pretty cool. Hey, Shauno is here. Good to see you, Shauno. Welcome, my friend. Says, hello, Aldo says hi. Good to see you. Patty Benty says, so beautiful, Miami. Good to see you, Patty. I think one of my favorite things about Lincoln Road are all the palm trees here. Yeah, Ruby Falcone says, road trip. You know, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to stream Ruby, but I probably want to try to get at least one stream in from Philadelphia, because Philadelphia is a walking city, isn't it? Hey, Seymour says, Tom, if the SEC removes PFE from the stock market as of 3/7/22, is that a big deal? I'm not familiar with that, Seymour. I am not familiar with that. 3/7/2022, didn't that pass already? But if you want to put a link in the chat, I will look into it. Philly says, what's good, Tom? Good to see you, Philly. Hope you're doing well. Sebastian says, hey, Tom. Hey, Mark Davis is in Niagara Falls today. Very cool, Mark Davis. Gummy Bear says, Dave Portnoy Pizza Guy is under investigation for misconduct. That's not good. But good to see you, Gummy Bear. Welcome, everybody. Hey, Canyon says, farming went to machine and many people had to leave the farm. So did anybody hear about the new technology that John Deere is working on? It's really, really cutting edge stuff. I believe Vice actually did a really good piece on it, where a lot of the John Deere equipment is going to be tricked out with the state-of-the-art AI, artificial intelligence, robotics. They'll be able to identify crops that are actually sick before they even pick up the crops. It's really crazy stuff. I have to find that and link it in the Discord or something like that. You know, one of my good buddies owns a lot of John Deere stock, and the machines and the sort of tractor equipment they're coming out with is all state-of-the-art technology. Really wild stuff that you would never even think about. Hey, Patty Bentley says, why don't you and Action Kid see you? Soon, very soon. I'm probably gonna run into him sooner rather than later. I think he's very busy now with his move. I believe he's trying to move into an apartment here or something. I'm not sure. Apartment, house, I'm not too sure. Chris Beeman says, Tom, I saw that Chipotle is testing robots to make their chips. Interesting, Chris. Do you have an article to that? I'd love to see that. Tim M says PFE didn't not get delisted. Someone misread an SEC filing. Ah, got it. Yeah, I didn't even hear about that, Tim, to be totally honest with you. I haven't even heard about it. Gummy Bear says the building that houses Cartier in New York City was built in 1906. We often stream near that building too. That building's beautiful. Atomic Skittles says I'm also taking the Amtrak next week to Connecticut from Moynihan Train Hall. What's the lounge all about that you get access to? Yeah, so if you are leaving or departing from Moynihan, you're going to be able to have access to that brand new Amtrak lounge. So I'm going to try to do a stream from there, although none of the cellular providers really work there. Ed Dunkel says apparently they are expensive to fix. Yeah, some of the older tractors and stuff too. Well, a lot of these, I was looking at the aftermarket resell or the resellers of a lot of these big tractor and farm equipment. 2016 farm equipment is selling for higher prices than they were brand new in 2016. Not all of it, but some of it, which is crazy. And it's the same trend that we're seeing in the used car market too, where a lot of used cars are actually selling for more than you could buy it new. It's a really very strange situation we have going on in the economy. Philly says AK is streaming right now at the place where you take the ferry to Miami Beach. Ooh, that's nice. You know what, Philly? I didn't even know you could take a ferry to Miami Beach, actually, in full honesty. You know, there's one thing I learned when I moved to Miami. Miami is a lot bigger than I thought. I think it's going to take a lot more time to sort of explore the entire, let's just say, city and surrounding neighborhoods in Miami. Hey, Tom M says, daughter in college for HR. What do you /sell? Is pharmaceutical sales a viable career? So I'm not in pharmaceutical sales. I do actually have a couple, well, I'm not going to say friends, but acquaintances that they have a really nice board. Really nice board. Expensive board, by the way. I do have a couple acquaintances in pharmaceutical sales. Pharmaceutical sales companies tend to require a biology degree because you do have to be a little bit technical, but it can be extremely lucrative, pharmaceutical sales. But pharmaceutical sales is extremely difficult because essentially you're selling to doctors, and especially nowadays, could you imagine how busy a doctor is? But pharmaceutical sales can be extremely, extremely lucrative. But I am in enterprise tech sales. So I sell software and hardware to large enterprises. So you could think about the Fortune 500 or the Fortune 50. Hey, Dwart55 says, have you met AK personally before? Not personally, but I probably will soon. AK is a great guy. Canyon Overlook says, my neighbor did that, no college degree. Wow, in pharmaceutical sales, very nice. Very nice. But yeah, pharmaceutical sales, to your point, it can be extremely lucrative. But I would advise, if I had to do it all over again, and if I was gonna pick a sales career, I would stay in tech. You know, I think, I always talk about this with my friends. I think there's two direct paths to go down. A lot of people like to start off at a major enterprise software company, like the Oracles or your SAP or something like that. But so here's the positives and the negatives of doing that. So if you start off at an Oracle, it's going to be a big grind, but here's the positive. The positive is that you're going to learn a lot because Oracle is a massive company, and you're going to be exposed to a lot of big enterprise customers that already use Oracle's products. So you're probably going to be selling into an existing book of business. and you're gonna learn processes and procedures of what it takes to actually sell software at a major company. So if you're looking for experience and how to operate a business from an operations standpoint, when you get out of college, I would probably work at a massive legacy tech company. But if you want more of a, nitty gritty, sort of you're working very closely with the CEO and things like that, I would try to enter into a startup. But the only thing is, if you're a little bit naive, like everybody is coming out of college, you may have a hard time getting assimilated to sales in general. So I think if you want to make a little bit less money at first, I would work at a big legacy tech company. And then from there, use your experience to really go wherever you want. And that's called having really good exit opportunities. But if you want to try to blow it out of the water as fast as possible, maybe try to work at a startup. And when you sign on, maybe you could ask them for some sort of equity offering. Hey, Eyeglass Lady is here. Good to see you, Eyeglass Lady. This is good evening, Tom. Good evening to you too. Kilo Whiskey Juliet says Oracle Service Cloud sucks. Yeah, a lot of people think that. But look, I think Oracle is at least making an attempt to transition from legacy provider to a SaaS business, and they're actually doing quite well with that transition. Because if you remember correctly, Larry Ellison didn't believe in the whole SaaS model. Hey, I see Cindy Foley here. Welcome, Cindy. Happy Friday, everybody. Philly, it's good to see you. Shauna says Wall Street had a great week. Yeah, we had 2 follow-through days. I want to give you guys some actionable ideas here, but I think a lot of the times when we have a massive follow-through day, a lot of people tend to jump right back in and just unload like 100% of your equity, right? That's not really what you want to do in this environment, because a lot of the stocks we like to talk about, a lot of the cybersecurity, software as a service stocks, or even the enterprise software stocks in general, a lot of these companies or their stock prices are still down about 60 to 80% from their all-time record high. So even though this week was really good and some of them were up 30% in a week, this could be massive short covering rallies. So I would continue to wait until solid bases build in a lot of these names. And the only actionable names that I see right now are NVIDIA, Fortinet, ticker symbol FTNT, Apple, and Broadcom, which is ticker symbol AVGO. And the reason why I point out those specific companies is because they are all trading above their 50-day and 200-day moving averages. Everything else is still trading below those 2 key moving averages, and they could easily get rejected and go lower. So those are my actionable ideas for the night. Hey, Sammy's here. It says, hello, Tom. Happy Friday. Good to see you, Sammy. Yeah, Tom M says Qualcomm. So Tom M, it's interesting. So the list that I just read off, if you notice something about it, 2 of the stocks that I listed that are showing relative strength are all in the semiconductor sector. And if we remember correctly from last week's Behind the Street newsletter, the majority of the new buys by the top performing mutual funds on Wall Street were all in the semiconductor sector. Pretty interesting. Hey, Ken is here. Ken Dyer says, nice. Good to see you, Ken. The one and only Ibrahim Azam from California. Welcome, Ibrahim, and happy Friday to you. Hope you had a great week at school. Hey, Nadij is here. Hey, Nadij. Says, hey, Tom and company, great walk to relax this evening. Yeah, so we are on Lincoln Road. And I really like Lincoln Road because it has a lot of outdoor dining. Very nice atmosphere here. Hey, Jared Covey says, some farmers are upset they can't modify the tractor software right to repair versus proprietary tech, says Jared Covey. You know what, Jared, to your point, I was so ignorant to agriculture and really what goes into it. Mainly just because maybe I'm from New York or, I'm sort of oblivious to it, but there is some really high-tech stuff that goes on in the agriculture space. Like some of this equipment, like the John Deere, the Caterpillar equipment is extremely, extremely advanced. To your point, a lot of proprietary software, a lot of proprietary AI, and there's actually startup companies that are coming out that can use AI to identify if a strawberry is ripe for picking, if it's diseased. So as the whatever the machine is called, as it's going through the field picking all of these crops, the AI is automatically scanning every single individual crop to see if it is, number one, ripe for picking, or number two, if it's diseased. That to me just blows my mind. And that's just scratching the surface of what AI is gonna be able to do. Hey, Water Blazing is here. Good to see you, Water Blazing. Check out that full moon. It's almost like the sun. It's almost like the sun. Check it out. It's so bright out. Ibrahim Azam says, my school was good. However, I felt tired this week from daylight savings time. Well, Ibrahim, hopefully you get some rest this week, or this weekend for that matter. Hey, Arnold says, so does he not live in New York City anymore? I would love to see more New York City footage. Yeah, so I am going to be about 50% of my time in New York, 50% of my time in Miami, because now I am working in both places. But speaking of New York, we will be there next week. And we will also be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania next week as well. But good to see you, Aaron. Thank you for joining tonight. Patty Benty, good to see you, my friend. Hope you're well. Sammy says, hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Paranormal Witness Girl, good to see you. Star Brothers says, do you have stocks in Apple or Tesla? I don't have any individual stock, but I do have exposure to both Apple and Tesla via an S&P 500 index fund that I hold in my retirement accounts. So yes, and I think Apple now makes up over 5% of the major indices, and Tesla makes up about 3%. So the weighting of those two stocks are massive in those two indices, or in that indice, the S&P 500. Hey, Sunshine New York is here. Good to see you, Sunshine. Hope you're well. I see the one and only British Gray is here. Welcome, British Gray, from Tampa, Florida. Tim M says, did they let you skateboard in Miami? Yeah, so you could skateboard just like you can in New York. But the only thing is the bike lanes here are so narrow. Sometime when we break back out the skateboard, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm talking about, because the bike lanes are like super narrow and the cars come way too close here. But we'll figure something out. Hey, Carolina Tom says, moon over Miami, one of the greatest views in the world. Good to see you, Carolina Tom. So Carolina Tom, I'm curious as to your opinion on the Bank of Japan's decision today. You know, we did hear from the Bank of Japan, in which case they will continue the extreme quantitative easing and negative interest rates too. Hey, Manthony is here. Good to see you, Manthony. Welcome. Manthony18 says, what's up, Tom? What is up to you? It's good to see you. Captain Sensible says, looks boogie there. Good to see you, Captain Sensible. Yeah, Tim's like, yeah, Tom, don't get hit by a Ferrari. Yeah, let's not do any of that. They did a wonderful job here on Lincoln Road with the landscape though. Hey, Wendy England is here. What's up, Wendy England? Good to see you. Samantha J says, beautiful evening. Good to see you, Samantha J. Fabiana Lucia Silva says, hello, Tom, how are you? Hello from Brazil. Love Brazil. Absolutely love Brazil. Oh, hey, what's up?
What's up, bro?
Have a good one.
You have a good one, too.
Have a nice weekend.
Take care.
A lot of nice people here in Miami. Lady O, good to see you. Tom M says, Philly cheesesteak sandwiches, pizza, and pretzel. So here's the thing. I'm going to be in Philly for about, well, I'm going to be there for 24 hours for sure, but I may extend my stay a day because I really want to sort of explore the city. So I'm going to be there on the 25th because I have to give a big presentation and take some clients out. Recommendations of some restaurants where to go in Philadelphia, so I do really appreciate that because I am not familiar with Philadelphia at all, but supposedly it's a really nice city, so I'm excited. War Walker, good to see you. We have the one and only War Walker from right here, the 305, a local. Good to see you, War Walker. Christopher says, hey Tom, good to see you, Christopher. Mary Cruz, welcome. Carolina Tom says politicians fear a bad economy more than they do inflation. That's true. That's true. Carolina Tom. So here, I was watching Bloomberg briefly today, and there was one of the managing directors that came on. I forget from which bank, but she was warning that we could potentially see negative interest rates here in the United States. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because, you know, we heard from Fed Chair Jerome Powell on Wednesday, and they did say that they're going to continue to raise interest rates by 25 basis points every single Fed meeting. So for the next 6 meetings, they're going to raise interest rates 25 basis points. Now, I know that's not anything material, but it seems like the market is responding rather well because they are assuming that, look, the Fed is going to take inflation more seriously, so it's putting the market at ease. And potentially that's why we had 2 follow-through days this week. Hey, Estelle is here. Hey, Estelle. Estelle is joining us from the one and only Australia. Good to see you. Canyon says, why would they try to lower it? I mean, maybe just try to stimulate the markets more. I don't know. I don't think they should. I'm not a big fan of negative interest rates, but some economists around the world are. Japan has had, negative interest rates for quite some time. Bernie Williams on what Unusual Whales posted. What did Unusual Whales post? Unusual Whales is a fantastic Twitter account if you guys want to follow it. So Bernie Williams, to your point, if anybody wants to connect on Twitter, if you want to follow Walks in Wall Street or Walks Wall Street on Twitter, I tend to retweet a lot of the interesting financial things, and sometimes I post my own proprietary equity research on Twitter. So if you want to connect there, you can follow at Walks Wall Street. And I would also highly suggest you follow Unusual Whales. Hey, NNB045 is here. Good to see you. Hey, Tom. Stream. No problem, NNB045. It's a beautiful night out here in Miami. It's probably about 77 degrees, but let me tell you guys something. Like, I think today was the first day in Miami where we got a real taste of what it's going to be like this summer, and it was ripping hot. But then again, I really like the hot weather. But I was wearing a white collared shirt today, and I was like, my God, I probably have to pack 2 white collared shirts next time. Mike C says, hey Tom, I hear from Powell that 50 basis point hike is possible at the next Fed meeting. Yeah, so I was hearing that as well. But here's what I think is more important than that, Mike, to your point. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell did signal to the market that they are going to address the now $9 trillion Fed balance sheet. So what's really driving all of this inflation is the egregious bond buying. So the Federal Reserve, for those of you who don't know, but everybody probably knows by now, we've been talking about it so much. The Federal Reserve is buying mortgage-backed securities and U.S. Treasuries. So that expansion of the balance sheet is still persistent, but supposedly Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said at the next Fed meeting, they will be at least starting to talk about unwinding that balance sheet, which is now $9 trillion. This guy is on the sunroof. But Mike C, to your point, I actually think that would not be too bad, actually. Philly says, was it humid? It was a little humid today. Today was a little humid, yes. Canyon Overlook says, Tom, we grew out of debt after World War II. That we did. That we did. Hey, Kenneth says, don't wear white in the heat. That guy's a nice board as well. So this is what I'm talking about with the narrow bike lanes. You see it? The bike lane shares a lane with the car, so I have to get more accustomed to. Man, I really want to skateboard now. But this is what I'm talking about. So the bike lane is shared with the cars, which I'm not too big of a fan of that. In New York, you have your dedicated bike lane, which I think is a lot safer. But then again, I mean, there's no space here. So it's like, where are you gonna put it? Kier J says, I missed the skateboard. Same here. I know Ruby Falcone is like, we're having board withdrawals. I agree. Carolina Tom says, quantitative easing is all that drives the economy, not interest rates. Yeah, I agree with you as well, Carolina Tom. That's why I think it was funny, on Wednesday when the Fed was saying, with this 25 basis point rate hike, it's going to be a conclusive step towards fighting inflation, when we know what creates all the inflation is the quantitative easing, is the bond buying and the money printing. Philly says, I'll take 120 degree heat in Arizona over 95 heat in Miami any day of the week. So Philly, to your point, you know what's kind of interesting? Did anybody know it has never been triple digits ever in Miami's history? So it has never been 100 degrees in Miami ever. And it's never been in the single digits. So Miami temperature has only ever been in the double digits, if that's even believable, but it is. Christopher says, what's the point of a shared bike/skateboard lane? Yeah, I don't know. It's a little weird. Although, Christopher, I'm not sure if you were on our stream last night. In Brickell, they are building a dedicated bike lane, which I actually agree with. But I think they had to spend a lot of money to do, as more people bike and, ride the scooters too. I don't understand how people are going to, we'll continue to walk down here. I don't know how people are going to continue to bike and share the same sort of path with the cars. I don't see how it's going to be sustainable. Estelle says, perfect weather. It's so pretty in Miami. Good to see you, Estelle. Jovic says it snowed in Miami before. I think it did too. I think it was in the 70s it snowed, didn't it? But when I heard that statistic that it's never been 100 degrees in Miami, I couldn't believe it. Melissa White says, why is the bike lane shared with all the cars? Miami isn't going backwards, is it? I think it's always been like that. I think it's just because the streets are more narrow here in Miami. But although if you go to downtown Miami, they are building dedicated bike lanes. But here, we're not in downtown Miami. We're in South Beach tonight. Yeah, Dutchman says no coastline in Arizona. So speaking about semiconductor stocks, those are the real tech stocks that seem to be leading the market, or at least after this follow-through day. And Arizona is a big state for semiconductors. And if you remember correctly, for a fabricator or for a chip fab plant, it requires a ton of water. So Arizona actually has some of the most advanced water recycling technology out of any state in the United States. Because literally, these chip fabricating plants use thousands upon thousands and even millions of gallons of water. And all of that water has to be recycled. Hey, Jovic says, yes, January 19th, 1977 was the first time it snowed in Miami in history. Wow. Hey, Bit of Wander's here. Good to see a Bit of Wander. So now we are on Collins Avenue. We are going to head north and then we'll walk south. But we are across the street from the Ritz-Carlton in Miami. But if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, feel free to leave a like on the video. But Bit of Wander, it's good to see you. Sabrina Fair is here. Kenneth, welcome. Smee Media says, yes, Tom, Miami's highest recorded temperature was 98 degrees. Maybe this summer we'll go for a record and try to go for 100 degrees. What do you guys think? Should we do it? Billy Breeze says, no street performers tonight. Yeah, usually there are some street performers in Miami. I'd say there's more street performers in New York. Hey, speaking of New York, Photos from around New York is here. Good to see you. 10:50. Yeah, it was a late stream tonight. Sorry for streaming so late. Originally, I wasn't going to stream tonight, but I thought I would jump on and just quickly talk about those 4 specific stocks that I think are probably setting up better than most. Because what we want to look for is when the market has a follow-through day, and if you're going to buy individual stocks, you want to look for specific criteria. Number 1, you want to look for relative strength. So have these stocks gone down less than other stocks in the market during the bear market? Ooh, what is that guy doing? Jeez. Man, these people are crazy here, man. You also want to look for stocks that are continuously compounding out their growth or their EPS at 25% per annum. You want to look for return on equity of at least 25%. And you want to make sure the company is maintaining their pre-tax and after-tax profit margins. So when you have all of those 3 things, revenue growth, earnings growth, if the company is in an industry that has an expanding TAM or a total addressable market, that attracts institutional investors and institutional sponsorship, thus adding liquidity to these stocks. XOXX Bob says it's spring break, so the crazies are in town. Hey, XOXX Bob, good to see you, my friend. Hey, Ren 1018 is here, good to see you. Arsenal fans says, I assume it's the start of spring break. I thought it was the end of spring break for some reason. I thought spring break ended on the 12th, but maybe I think different colleges and universities maybe have spring break at different times. So I did eat at this pizza shop. It's actually very good. If you guys can see it, this place is actually very good. Two Wheel Finance is how you like in Miami, Tom. I'm liking it so far. I think it's exceeded my expectations so far. But we will be in Philly. We're going to be in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Bit of Wonders, the spring break is rolling things for the entire month of March and half of April. Wow. Yeah, for some reason I thought spring break was only like 2 weeks for some of the major colleges and universities. But I could be wrong. Lori East, it looks good. Yeah, that pizza place is actually the only pizza place so far, at least in Miami, that was, you could say, is like comparable to New York. Some of the other spots weren't that good, to be honest. Atomic Skittles says, did you see the NYC walking show get attacked in New York earlier tonight? He had to use pepper spray against an attacker trying to steal his phone. Jeez. I did hear about that. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, I don't really want to go on a big rant about it. But yeah, I mean, New York's got to clean it up, man. New York has to get it together. That stuff is going to continue to happen. I mean, thank God he had the pepper spray on him, because, a lot of people try to do that stuff, like the snatch and grab. So they'll try to walk right up next to you and steal your phone out of your hand. I've had some people try to do that to me on my stream, but you guys never noticed it because I always catch it before they're about to do it. I just have that self-awareness. But sometimes these people can come out of the woodwork, like I guess happened to the New York City walking show. But yeah, you gotta watch out, especially because these people, most of them are on drugs. I mean, I hate to say it, but a lot of these people that are stealing a lot in New York, they either have severe mental health issues or they're on drugs, unfortunately. Two Wheel Pines is, wow, this is a nice Rolls Royce here. But this is what I will say, because it's because a lot of, the derelicts and the scumbags and the losers in New York City that are the criminals, a lot of the times they assault women because they know that they can't fight back. So whenever they do it to a capable or able-bodied guy, it's very important that these guys hammer these people and really pound them into the dirt to show them that, you know, this is our city. And if you try that stuff to someone that, you know, has a spine, you know, you're going to get your skull crushed into the concrete. And I think that's appropriate, because what happens is they target either women or predominantly Asians in New York, and they terrorize these people. And the police, unfortunately, can't do anything about it in New York. So I'm glad that he got pepper sprayed. I think that was the appropriate reaction there. Hey, Lupe is here. Lupe says, we built this city. Good to see you, Lupe. I like these Art Deco style buildings here. Lori E says he warned him to stop and then he didn't stop, so he had to pepper spray him. Yeah, I mean, if somebody's assaulting you and you tell them to stop and they don't stop, I agree. But yeah, I'm not gonna comment on it anymore. I don't want to be too negative. But the thing that upsets me about it is, you know, if you've looked at a lot of the news stories in New York, and it's not just New York, it's all over. It's here in Miami too, not as much, but I don't want to be biased. A lot of the crime is targeted towards like people that can't defend themselves. So you'll have like old women or, you know, old men that are elderly people on the subways that are getting attacked, or Asian women they go after for whatever reason. So I think it's important, like, you know, if New York City continues this bail reform where they just get arrested and released back into the streets, I mean, this stuff is going to continue to happen, and it's not a good look for New York. So just to give you an example, my old boss is from Long Island, and she's about, you know, probably about 50 years old now, and she doesn't want to commute into the city anymore. So she used to take the train on the Port Jefferson line, which is from Long Island to Penn Station. She won't take the train anymore. She's like, I'm gonna just expense the $100 and pay for parking and just drive in, because with everything that's been going on, I don't want to take the train, I don't want to take the subway, and I'd rather just drive. And I mean, I know it's a little bit of anecdotal data, but the traffic in New York is getting worse because nobody wants to take the trains because it's so dangerous now. But I don't know, I don't want to be too negative. Hey, Western Mass Dave, good to see you. Western Mass Dave is joining us, welcome. Dean, good to see you. Hey, Sabrina Fair says, Tom, I lived in San Francisco and watched a dude hit his girlfriend in the richest neighborhood at 2 p.m. That's insane. That's horrible. Ren 10 says, Tom, what were those 4 stocks you recommend? So these aren't recommendations, Ren 10, but what I will say is, whenever we have a follow-through day, which we did, we had one on Wednesday and we had another one today, but I think the volume metrics in the market are a little bit skewed today because we had that quadruple witching event, which I think we covered yesterday, which is it's in the derivatives market, a lot of options expiration stuff, so that probably influenced a lot of the volume. But essentially, a lot of these software stocks, even though they have really good fundamentals, they're still down 60 to 70%, literally off their all-time record highs. So on a follow-through day, I like to look for really good leaders that are compounding out their earnings and their sales, have good return on equity, but that are also above their 200-day moving averages as well as their 50-day. So those 4 stocks that I'm watching that are currently on the watch list is NVIDIA, Fortinet, ticker symbol FTNT, which is a cybersecurity company, Apple, and AVGO, which is Broadcom. And if you pull up a chart of these companies, these are some of the only stocks on the market that have held above their 200-day moving average and their 50-day moving average. And one of the commonalities about all these companies is their fundamentals are exceptional, right? If you just look at the growth story of Nvidia and Broadcom, these are both global semiconductor shortage. The demand for semiconductors is really going to expand due to the fact that we have this massive EV rollout, 5G build out, as well as machine learning and AI. But in this week's Behind the Street newsletter, if you guys want to read it, I'm going to be putting in a couple setups and briefly talking about the Bank of Japan's decision on monetary policy. So if you want to read that, if you type !news, NEWS in the chat, you will see the link where you could read the Behind the Street newsletter for free. And thank you everybody for reading, because we now have over 700 people that are signed up to read the Behind the Street newsletter. So I am really, really appreciative that you guys take the time to read my work. So thank you all for that. Hey, the investigators here, welcome. Good to see the investigator. The investigator says, walks on Wall Street, good to see you, and I hope you have a great weekend. You as well. We are in South Beach tonight, and we have an incredible full moon. Amazing here. Hey, Diana's here, good to see you. Yeah, some people are saying justice does catch up to the perpetrators. I hope so. Wow, Gummy Bears says, Tom, there was a massive fire in Queens impacting 30 small businesses. That's horrible. That's horrible. Hey, Jay says, no need for permit required Ohio for conceal and carry. Good to see you, Jay. Hope you had a good week and hope you have a good start to your weekend. There's so many people here in South Beach tonight, probably because of the spring break action. So we are on Collins Avenue, headed uptown. I want to check out the art gallery, the Eden Fine Art. Hey, Santo is here. Good to see you, Santo. And I see D. Welcome, D. Says the water would have been nice to see with the moon glistening on the top. Ooh, that is true. But so D, the only thing about that, I think a couple streams ago we tried to go on the beach, but there's no cell service on the beach, unfortunately. Maybe we'll try it again tonight. Hey, my friend Ken Glass is here. Says, good evening, Tom. Hey, Ken. Hope you are well. Paranormal Witness Girl says, Tom, check out the 24-hour Starbucks in South Beach. How far away is that, Paranormal Witness Girl? Because right now we're on 21st Street. Good to see you, Western Mass Dave. So this is the Joe and the Juice coffee. Good coffee shop here. Gummy Bears says, Tom, are you a coffee drinker? I am, probably to a fault. I probably drink too much coffee. This is a good coffee spot right here. Lupe. I think anywhere, honestly. Anywhere in Miami is perfect because very beautiful place. You're near the water. But I would probably say Mary Brickell Village. It's probably the best. Roy S. says, Tom, don't forget to tell us how you plan to celebrate your channel's first year anniversary. Isn't that crazy that it's already almost been a year? I think I started live streaming in May. Hey, Orland Edwards is here. Good to see you, Orland. Welcome. Says, hey, Tom, and good night. Jay says, I'm having coffee right now. You know, I may take a decaf coffee. You know, I think we learned on the chat from photos from around New York that, did you guys know that a light roast has more caffeine than dark roast? I never knew that. I always thought it was the other way around. I always thought it was dark roast has more caffeine. Michelle Henry says, y'all have a great night. I'll see you next time. Hey, Michelle, thank you so much, and please have a good Saturday. Hey, Rusty is here. Says, hey, Tom, New York City here. Love your informed vids. Hey, Rusty, we will be back in New York this week. So hopefully we'll have another 70-degree day in New York. Hopefully I can bring some more of the sunshine to New York City. But then we'll also be going to Philly. But Rusty, here we are on 21st Street. So last thing that I want to talk about in relation to the market, as I let this guy go, I don't trust any of the drivers here in Florida. The VIX. Yes, we want to talk about the VIX. The VIX is actually coming down, which is an extremely positive sign. So the VIX has came all the way down to 23. The 200-day moving average at the VIX is 20. So, I mean, this rally could have some legs on it, but in an ideal situation, I'd actually like to see the market pull back a little bit, do some back end filling, and then take off after we have our next round of earnings reports. I think that would be probably the best ideal situation. But it's good to see that some of these fear indicators are coming down a little bit here. I didn't have a chance to check out the put to call ratio, but obviously I will do a write-up in that about the put to call ratio on the Behind the Street newsletter, which I will send out to everybody on Monday. Hey, Liquid Nate, what's up? This is my guy Tom, Inside Stream. Yeah, Liquid Nate, we're checking out the Eden Fine Art Gallery here. And I see the one and only Laytha. Good to see you, Laytha. Welcome. Happy Friday. Emilio J says, Tom, my dream is to own a condo overlooking the Haulover Inlet and watch people jump their boats from my balcony. So if anybody, so to Emilio J's point, if you guys want to see some crazy videos on YouTube, Google Haulover Inlet, and well, actually go on YouTube and look Haulover Inlet boating, and you guys will see some crazy stuff. Maybe we'll do a stream from there one night. Hey, Sammy says, lovely art gallery and the work. AMS Moments this week. Can we go to where all the, good to see AMS Moments? John says, this live stream should be audio version in the future. Good to see you, John. So the Eden Gallery is in New York, Aspen, Miami, London, and Dubai. We've been to both of them in New York, if you guys remember correctly. Hey, Arturo Flores is here. Says, hello, Tom. Relaxing after a long day at work. Good to see you, Arturo. Welcome, my friend. You know, there's a lot of artwork by Alec Monopoly here. Extremely talented artist. And I really want to live stream from Wynwood, but the internet service is not good there. Wynwood probably has to be one of the most unbelievable places I have ever been to in my entire life. Shot by Scott, he's one of our moderators on the channel. He was telling me about, he's like, look, Tom, you gotta go to Wynwood. You gotta go to Wynwood. I was blowing it off. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll get to Wynwood. I went to Wynwood, my jaw was on the floor. Unbelievably beautiful place. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So if you guys are traveling to Miami, first stop has to be Wynwood. It's a phenomenal place. It's just unreal. I can't even explain it. Maybe I'll have to do a standalone video on it because it's so amazing. But there's no internet service there. Take Me to the Sea says those vids are the best at Haulover, especially on the rough sea days. I didn't know it was crazy like that because, you know, every time I go to the beach in Miami, the water is so still. Hey, Lori E says, good night. Good to see you, Lori E. NBF Forums is waiting for that stream, Tom. Good to see you. Unlimited Stimulus says, I'm waiting to buy after Q1 earnings, most likely in May. So I did have to buy a little bit on the day of the follow-through day, which actually was today, because I added a little bit to like my long-term retirement accounts in the S&P. But I'll probably, if NVIDIA pulls back a little bit, I'll probably have to buy NVIDIA or something like that. The only thing is there's a lot of lacking in setups. So there's a big lack in setups now, because even though we did have this follow through day, a lot of these stocks are still down like 60%. So even if they rally back to their 50-day, you know, they could easily turn back over and roll over. But we'll keep an eye on it. Yeah, Ken is like, buy the whole place. Efren Lopez says, hey Tom, I was in Ocean Drive 2 hours ago and was busy there for spring breakers. Talbish is here, says, walks on Wall Street. I've been watching your live streams for almost a year now. Yeah, Talbish was one of the first people to watch the stream, so I appreciate you, Talbish. It's always a pleasure to talk to you on the streams. I think that's one of my favorite pieces all the way in the back. Can you guys see that with the Monopoly guy and Richie Rich? I think that's probably my favorite one, because it says the Dow Jones Industrials. Estelle says, love it. Good to see you, Estelle. Philly says, so is it safe to say that you're going to be an ex-New Yorker in the near future? I don't think I'll probably ever be an ex-New Yorker. I think if you're born in New York State, I think you are a New Yorker for life. And I love New York City. I definitely do want to buy a place in New York. I just don't have the money for it now. And it's unfortunately gotten that way due to egregious property taxes and things like that. But I'll be back. I think it's just more appropriate for me to establish some real estate, some cash flowing real estate here in Southern Florida to allow me to build up enough equity to hopefully purchase a multifamily unit in New York. But maybe that's going to be in like 8 to 10 years. Photos from around New York says, would you ever buy a co-op in New York City? Probably not. But then again, one of my friends did buy a co-op recently. So I'm going to have to talk to her and see what the deal is with that. But so here's the thing. With me, photos from around New York, I'm very sort of, I like to be very independent. I feel like with a cooperative, I have to depend on a lot of people, which that I don't like. Hey, Off the Hook girl, Off the Hook, good to see you. This is New York stream is better. Thank you, Off the Hook. Photos from around New York, answered that already. Gummy Bear says, Uncle Scrooge was the duck in the picture. Scrooge McDuck, I guess. So this is 20th Street and Collins Avenue. These are the classic Art Deco buildings. Phenomenal architecture, some of my favorite architecture here. Elias says, hello from the Dominican Republic. Welcome, Elias. Ibrahim Azam says, why do you want a multifamily unit if you don't mind me asking? Yeah, because I think I want to establish real estate that cash flows, right? So let's say if I buy, let's just say 15 to 30 units. I could live in one, I could have my family live in them. We'll always have a place to live, but we'll also have other tenants helping us pay down the mortgage, pay the taxes and things like that. NNB 045 is like, I like being independent too in my work. That's why I decided not to be a project manager. Yeah, I mean, management work is not for everybody. I don't think I would ever be a manager, to be honest. But I think that's also why a lot of people go into sales, because, in theory, if you go into sales and you're a good salesperson, your manager should technically leave you alone, right? I mean, if you're selling and you're hitting your quota, your manager shouldn't bother you, I guess. At least that's how it should be. So now we're walking back down Collins Avenue. Oh, check out this building here. I wonder what's going on in there. Hey, Cynthia Beal says, Tom, I used to stay at 40th and Collins. I used to stay a month. It was an old Art Deco, the Ocean Grand. They tore it down. Dang. People tried to save it. Wow. Well, at least you got to go there while it lasted, I guess, Cynthia. So, Cynthia, when you come down to Miami, where do you usually stay now? You know, a very popular place where a lot of people are staying when they're visiting Miami is actually, I guess you could call it a town. It's called Edgewater. And there's a lot of new construction, a lot of new multifamily, a lot of new very luxurious hotels too in Edgewater, Miami. Yeah, Mike C, you're spot on. Mike C's like the thing I don't miss the most about work is the senseless trainings and all the nonsense courses. Arsenal Fan 13 says, Tom, have you ever considered streaming South Beach? So this is South Beach. We are in South Beach right now. Wow, Cynthia Beals like, Tom, it's been 25 years since I've been back to Miami. You gotta come back. Cynthia, if it's been 25 years since you've been to Miami, if you come here, it's gonna be totally different. You're not even gonna recognize it, especially if you go to Brickell. Hey, Lady O, thank you for joining the stream. And I hope you have a good weekend. Hopefully you have some interesting stuff planned for the weekend. Our great moderator, Lady O. I'm really tempted to try to go on the water, but then again, I don't think there's going to be any internet service there. Wow, Canyon overlooks like, Tom, it's been over 20 years for me too. So this is the Red Bury. It looks like a restaurant slash apartment building slash hotel. Razzle Dazzle says, Tom, I stayed at the Fontainebleau Miami Beach. Beautiful luxury hotel, best experience ever. Yeah, Razzle Dazzle, that's actually a little bit up this way. If we keep walking this way, we'll actually run right into it. So I actually walked past that today, and right across the, I guess you can call it like a little causeway there by the Fontainebleau Miami Beach, there's all of these crazy mega yachts and these people's multi-million-dollar mansions. It's a crazy experience seeing it in person. So here's another thing that I'm talking about, like the bike lane is the same thing as the street. Hey, Arturo says, good week for my portfolio. The question is, will the rally continue? Yeah, so we did have a follow-through day, but we're going to talk about that more, Arturo, in the Behind the Street newsletter. So if you have not signed up yet, it is completely free. If you type !news in the chat, NEWS, I will have the Nightbot drop the link to the Behind the Street newsletter. And this week, we're going to be talking about some interesting setups in the stock market. We're going to be talking about the Bank of Japan and their quantitative easing and how that will coincide with the market rally. Paranormal Witness Girl says, Tom, Indian Creek is the billionaire island. So Paranormal Witness Girl, isn't it Indian Creek? And there's also another one. It's Star Island, right? I think it's Indian Creek as well as Star Island, I think. Hey, Robert Parker, what's up? Says, Tom, did you run into Action Kid, who is currently live streaming? So he's live streaming in Brickell. I'm live streaming in South Beach. So hopefully one day we will run into each other. I think he's just very busy now with trying to move into a new apartment and things like that, or a house. I'm not sure what his living situation is, but I think he's quite busy with that. But hopefully when he is finished, maybe we'll meet up with him. Who knows? Ooh, I think these people got into an accident, maybe. Or maybe they ran out of gas. Western Mass Dave says it's bound to happen. Yeah, we're gonna meet up soon. John says, Tom, South Beach is very colorful. It definitely is a very different type of, I guess you could call it a different type of vibe than downtown Miami. Yeah, Ibrahim Azam says, Tom, you now have 700 readers on the newsletter. I know, it's crazy. So thank you so much for reading, everybody. I do appreciate it very, very much. Oh, I think it was, what do they call them? The Fender Benders? So this is 17th Street. Wendy says, I'm not a party animal, so this place would give me a panic attack. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Wendy. I'm not too much of a party animal, but it's sometimes nice to see it during spring break. Take me to the sea, says Tom. Indian Creek Island up by Hallover, top wealth there for decades. Ivanka and Jared own a property there now. Jeez. Oh my God. Oh, Marona mia. Well, I got his license plate. What a scumbag, that guy. Did you guys see that? What the heck? I think I'm gonna end the stream because this guy, I have his license plate on camera. Could anybody rewind the stream and tell me if I have that guy's license plate on film? Because if I do, I will have to end the stream and I'm gonna show it to the police officer. So could anybody quickly rewind the stream and tell me if I have the license plate on camera? I can't believe he took off. Did he actually take off? Did I get the plate? Oh. Jared says it's hard to read. Oh, Gina says it's blurry. Dang. Well, the police officers are... Hold on. Is there a way for me to rewind it? Because if I did get the plate, I'm gonna go up to the guy and give him the plate number. It was nuts. Miami walking and driving tours is the tag shows, but I can't see the numbers. Dang, and I got that. How did I not get the plate? I was right there. Oh, Miami Beach. Yeah, there's probably cameras somewhere here. But how do you do that to somebody? How do you hit somebody and then run away like that? Here, Jay's played from Tennessee. So I'm deciding, I think I'm gonna end the stream because I want to help this guy out. Because I think I got the license plate on camera. Lewis is hot pink. Tatiana. Oh, we didn't? Yeah, I think the stream is quite blurry tonight too. I don't think the stream is clean. Yeah, let me see if it's my camera. I think it was my camera. I think my camera was blurry. Is it better now? So you know what I'm gonna do? Give me a second. I'm gonna see if I can mute this. So I'm gonna go up to the lady or the guy and just say I probably got it on camera. I'm gonna give them my phone number if they want to give me a call. Because I mean that's. We'll see. I got the guy on the camera. So we're doing like a live stream, and I think I got the guy's license plate on camera. So if you want it, I'll give you my. I'm not gonna. Hold on. I'll try to mute it, but I'll give you my phone number. You can text me, and I'll send you the video. You want to write it down? Take it. So we'll try that. They're gonna send me a text, and I will. I think I got the plate. Maybe the police can enhance it, but there's a lot of people in the car too. I think the guy was driving an Uber. All right, eventful stream. All right. Yeah, so wow, crazy. That's why you guys can't drive fast. Please don't drive fast. So I think it was photos from around New York said it, or maybe the investigator. I believe when we upload the stream, it downloads in 1080p. I think we're only streaming in 720, so it'll probably download the license plate. What's it called? When the stream uploads. So we'll see. But I mean, that guy must have been going what? Like 40 miles an hour? What do you guys think? That guy must have been going like 40. No, yeah, I'm fine. It didn't hit me. I just witnessed it. But thank you, Western Mass Dayton. Yeah, Estelle says he was flying. Like, why are you flying? There's so many people here. People are walking around. It's crazy, man. But I mean, things like that, I understand. Everybody wants to have a good time. It's spring break, but that's how you get people killed, man, you know?
Okay, this is farther.
Yeah, Michelle McGrossi is going way too fast for sure. But how do they not see people? How do they not see people in front of them? My God. All right, let's get back on track. Paranormal Witness Girl says maybe he was driving drunk, perhaps. Hey, Cole is here. What's up, Cole? Good to see you. Says, hey, I'm late, but glad you're okay. I know, Walter says, imagine if there was a pedestrian crossing the street. I mean, look at all the pedestrians here. I was about to cross the street.
Guys, it's a red light. Okay.
All right, so let's check out. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm all thrown off now. I apologize. Let's check out the orb, and then we're gonna head back because I gotta get the bus. Hey, Jonathan Francis is here. Says, hey, Tom, happy Friday night. Please be safe out there. Thank you so much. Yeah, photos from around New York makes a good point. This is why Google's Waymo is important. I think a lot of the autonomous vehicles will solve a lot of this nonsense. Yeah, Sunshine, New York says that was close. It was. I think here's another accident. Ooh, Cosmo's already got the clip of the collision. Thank you, Cosmo. I appreciate that. Because they're going to send me a text. And I'll send them the video. Maybe they could catch the guy. Because there was a lot of people. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. But when I went up to the car, there was an entire family in the car. It was an Uber. But the entire family was in the car. So now we're passing 16th Street. Lisa says it's a full moon. Indeed it is. We're passing the Royal Palm. Yeah, Brian says that hit and run was crazy. I mean, to me, that just shows how arrogant some people are. To me, that just shows that you don't care about anybody else. You're only sort of self-absorbed, I guess. Hey, John says, Tom, I have stayed at the Royal Palm. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful place here, but British Craig, good to see you. Yeah, Two Wheel Pine says once the video uploads, it'll be in 1080p. Yeah, well, we should be streaming in 1080p, but I think I was checking a lot of the speeds. I think we're only getting like a 12 upload, so I think the stream kicked it back down at 720. But we'll take a look. Maybe the upload will be higher quality. Hey, Edson is joining us. Good to see you, Edson. Hope you're well. We're gonna head down to, you know what, we won't go to the Betsy Orb tonight. We're gonna go to Espanola Way. We'll do a quick walk around, and then I gotta get back to the bus. But Espanola Way should look fantastic tonight for spring break. A lot of people are probably out eating, having a good time. Dutchman says Tom's gonna change the name of the stream. Yeah, Layla says you've got 1080p supposedly. I always set the streams to be 1080p. Hey, Sophie M says hello from Australia. Hope you are well and enjoy your walks. Thank you, Sophie. We have a lot of Australian viewers. We have Estelle, Sophie, and many, many others. Andrew. See, even if you have the walk signal here, you could have some crazy people turning. So you always gotta watch. Yeah, walks. Hey, how are you? Walks, crashes, and stocks. The full moon looks insane tonight. Two Wheel Pine says, I'm sure Uber won't cover most of the cost. Well, I mean, if I were that guy, I'd sue the hell out of that guy. But then again, there's probably nothing to sue for because the guy probably doesn't have much. Lay this is moon over Miami. So here we are, Espanola Way. One of my favorite places in South Beach. We have the Salesforce clouds in the distance. Or at least I like to call them the Salesforce clouds. Paranormal Witness Girl says, damn, traffic felony for leaving the scene of an accident. So I mean, that means that guy probably has a couple of prior incidents or prior arrests. Yeah, British Grey, I heard about that too. A lot of crazy stuff going on. Bob says, Tom, Uber does insure drivers up to $1 million. That is true. Fake plates are also very common. Enough experts might have had drugs in the car. That's possible. So we're gonna cross and walk down Espanola Way. You guys are gonna see it's amazing over there. There's so many restaurants, so many great places to eat. But I guess as we're waiting for the light to change. Hey, EBITDA, good to see you, my friend. So EBITDA, we're talking about some of the setups that I'm seeing in the market. Obviously, we had 2 follow-through days back to back. But EBITDA, the problem that I'm seeing is there's just a lack of setups in the market. You know, even though this market has rallied extremely hard, you know, you look at a lot of the software stocks, these things are still down 60%. So the only stocks that I see that have liquidity, that have institutional sponsorship, that have good earnings growth, that have good sales growth, are Nvidia, Fortinet, which is a cybersecurity company, Apple, and Broadcom. And an interesting thing about this list is 2 of those stocks are in the semiconductor space. So we were talking about that tonight. Also, we did hear from the Bank of Japan. The Bank of Japan is going to maintain its short-term interest rate target at negative 0.1%. Their 10-year bond is yielding about 0%. So nothing has really changed at the Bank of Japan. It seems like they will continue their extreme easing well into the future. Al Baker says, how about Microsoft? I mean, Microsoft is another one. But what I'm gonna do, Al Baker, is in this week's edition of the Behind the Street newsletter, I'm gonna compile a list of true market leaders, or at least some of the stocks that I think could be true market leaders. And I'm gonna list them for everybody. And I'm gonna try to attach a couple of DCF models, but the newsletter platform that I'm using right now, I'm having a very difficult time attaching Excel files for whatever reason. Yeah, Amazon actually had a good week today. Amazon had a really good week, to your point. Pacific Desert Raids, Tom, I just rewinded the video. It was an out-of-state license plate. Hey, Diego's here, good to see you. Mark Sage says, hey, Walks on Wall Street, how's it hanging with the spring breakers tonight? It's hanging pretty good. Thank you for being here. If you're liking the video or the stream so far, feel free to leave a like on the video. And subscribe if you're new. So this is Espanola Way. We may have a little bit of signal issues here because we tend to buffer just a little bit. But this is Espanola Way. Yeah, Miami walking and driving tours, Google numbers are not bad. They're very good. So Google's another like earnings monster, generates a ton of free cash, margins are great, and I think that their Google Cloud platform is going to be profitable in 2023. Philly, this is not. This is Espanola Way. very good Italian. Fans Aiken says Microsoft and Amazon cloud services are way ahead of Google. Yeah, you're right. So the top two in terms of cloud is Amazon's AWS platform and then Microsoft Azure cloud. So you're very right. But one of the interesting things about Google's Google Cloud unit is I believe in the last 2 quarters it lost about $600 million. But every consecutive quarter it continues to lose less and less money. So can you imagine when Google's cloud computing unit turns positive, that is all going to hit the bottom line, and I think earnings could go up significantly. But it's a good point, you're right. Off the hooks, is anybody else losing money in stocks? Yeah. I got a little bit dinged up in this correction when the first follow-through day didn't work. I had to cut some of my losses in my actively managed account. So I'm negative for the year in my actively managed account. Thank you for joining. A little bit. Jay's like, you mean I'm not alone in the negative? No, I'm down for the year a little bit, but I think I'll be positive. I think I'm gonna have a good year. $2020 was my best year ever. But this year, not off to a good start. But then again, I mean, what manager on Wall Street is off to a good start? It's a very choppy market. Somebody says, or a king says, am I a day trader? No, I don't day trade stocks. I am a position trader. So what I like to do is I like to look for companies that are compounding out their earnings at least 25% quarter over quarter and size into them as they're breaking out of bases. So I usually tend to hold my positions 8 to 24 months depending on the market condition and trade with size. Hey, Carol H. It's happy Friday, Tom and everybody. Good to see you, Carol. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna head back now to the bus terminal. I do gotta get the bus. But this is Havana 1957. Carol H's Espanola Way is happening tonight. Yeah, this is one of my favorite places in South Beach. EBITDA says only successful day traders are quants. Those days have passed. I agree. Nadij says, Tom, do you trade options? I don't really trade options. The only time I will, I guess you could say trade options is if I'm hedging a position. But a position trader just means when I mean size into a name, it means like you have, let's say, a basket of 5 stocks that you have really strong conviction in. And these particular companies will be compounding out their earnings at least 25% per annum. And I like to look for companies in a very expanding total addressable market. So some of my biggest winners have been like Atlassian. Oh, hold on, I'm just getting a lot of messages here. Sorry about that, I'm just getting I think I'm getting some text from the driver there. So a position size trader just means you tend to hold positions longer than most. That could be anywhere from 8 to 24 months. Because there's been a lot of studies done that if you want to hold on to a stock that's going to go up 200 or 300%, you need to make sure that you're holding through earnings reports. So if you're just buying a stock one day and then selling it 2 days later, there's not going to be much volatility in that move. So you need to hold through earnings reports, because the majority of the moves in the stock market do not happen during trading hours. They actually happen after hours. So you got to make sure you pick quality companies and hold them through earnings. And I know a lot of people don't like to do that, but I mean, if you want to capture a lot of these moves, you got to hold through earnings. King says, Tom, I'm a little surprised that PayPal stock dropped so much in value. Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? And Kings, I'm not sure if you're reading the newsletter. Bless you. I'm not sure if you're reading the Behind the Street newsletter, but to your point, you're 100% right on. And I wrote about this, and it's very similar to what happened in the year 2000, right? Remember in the year 2000, all these tech and telecom stocks got clocked hard. And everybody was saying, oh, how is it possible that Cisco is going down? It's Cisco. Everybody buys Cisco products. But during bear markets, it doesn't matter what type of stock it is. The stock is going to go down. So to your point, even though PayPal is a very good company, it has good earnings, good sales, during bear markets, stocks can go a lot lower than you think. And I wrote a brief piece on that last week, but it's a very good point. My bad. Estelle says Miami is a vibe. Lewis says I'm long BlackRock. Oh, I'm long block, so square, ticker symbol SQ. Very nice. Yeah, UPS is like your brave full moon tonight. So we're gonna walk all the way back up to 27th Street is the bus terminal. That is true. PayPal does have a lot of competition. There's a lot of new IPOs, a lot of new issues in the fintech space too. So we're on 15th. We had about 10 more blocks, 13 more blocks. And I think that's another reason why Miami needs dedicated bike lanes too. The bikes and the skateboarders, as well as the scooter people, they have to share the street with the cars. But the good thing is in downtown Miami, they're building dedicated bike lanes, which is good. Bryant's is crowded tonight. Indeed, it is crowded for the spring break. Hey, Lewis is here. Hey, Tom, still walking? Yep, we're still walking up to 27th Street. Good to see you. Enough Experts is, what do you think about... Oh, just lost your comment. Could you repost that comment? For some reason, the chat went all the way to the bottom. UPS says today was an amazing day. Massive moves up and down, and many beaten down stocks are catching bids. Yeah, so UPS, so I'm a little bit conflicted in that. Do you think that a lot of those very beaten down stocks, a lot of this rally was all short covering? I think a lot of it probably was. But so that's why I'm trying to pick the leaders in the market that are showing relative strength. Because I have a really hard time buying like a block, for example, ticker symbol SQ or Square. Because that thing is 70% off of its highs. I mean, that's just too much overhead supply for me to buy that. So I think, you know, Nvidia is trying to form a base, ServiceNow. But it seems like those trades are crowded, but I'm probably gonna have to size into them anyway. Hey, Tariq is here, says Tom, bikes and skateboards don't pay for the road, cars do. I don't know about that. I think everybody does. If you're a taxpayer, you do. I certainly gave my fair share of my taxes in New York City. Canyon says, I am just an index or mutual fund investor. Yeah, so I have 2 accounts. One of my accounts, I just dollar cost average into an index fund that tracks the S&P 500. And that is in my IRA. In which case, every month, I think on the 18th, so it was actually just yesterday, actually, I think it was the 18th, is when it automatically takes the money out of my account and just buys the S&P in my IRA. But I also have an actively managed account in Interactive Brokers, which is a taxable account, so it's not the best tax haven, but my IRA is. But you make a good point, because I think the statistic is about 75% of money managers on Wall Street, they don't beat the benchmark indices. So you're 100% right. In many cases, it's better off just dollar cost averaging into an index fund. Off the hook says you mean car taxes and registration. That's true. That's true. And registration and insurance for cars are expensive. Canyon Overlook, I don't have a 401k, I just have an IRA. So just an IRA. Hey, Jared Covey, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says that was a crazy hit and run. It was a crazy hit and run. All right, we are at our destination, Lincoln Road, where I do have to get the bus. But I appreciate everybody joining today. Thank you so much. Yeah, Canyon Overlook, that is true. You can't put I think it's a Roth IRA you can't put as much in, but the way I set up my business through an S Corp, I could technically load the boat on it, but I'll go into, I may make a dedicated some of that stuff if you, but you're totally right. If you make more than 150,000, I don't have a regular IRA. They're thank you. Good, thank you. Thank you for this. Thank you so much for watching. Lotus buffer. All right. I don't know why that was buffering so bad. I think we just hit like a little bit of a dead zone, but everybody, this is a great place to end it. So thank you all for joining the stream tonight. I really do appreciate it. Laytha, thank you. Photos from around New York. Ibrahim Azam, Larry, thank you. I think we just hit a brief buffer zone, but everybody, thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to give a like to this video, subscribe if you are new. If you want to sign up for the free investing newsletter Behind the Street, if you type !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, you can connect with us on the Behind the Street newsletter. Also, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you could follow @WalksWallStreet, and I will see you all right here tomorrow. We may be streaming from the University of Miami, so stay tuned for that. Sophie M, Cynthia Beal, Laytha, Lady O, Cole, Philly, Abdullah, Ibrahim Azam, my friend Falling Iguanas, I appreciate it. Tatiana Oliveira, everybody, thank you for what crazy stream tonight. Just a crazy stream, but I tried to stay on topic as much as I could. I appreciate everybody, and we'll see you in the next one. So thanks everybody, be safe, and to the mighty bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there's always a bull market somewhere, and you just need to know where to look. And I'll see you in the next one.